You are now listening to the Be Your Own #Love Goals podcast with Mo Ari
and Tiffany.
We just want you to remember that every person, regardless of identity, wants these three things: belonging, authenticity, and love.
And after a decade of partnership, we've learned to co-create these things and so much more.
So from wherever you're listening, we're going to go on a journey of becoming our own #Love Goals. Now let's get into this episode. Hey, it's Mo Ari
and Tiffany,
and you are listening to the Be Your Own #Love Goals podcast. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you all.
So we have a listener question, and I am so excited to just jump right in. Let's hear what our first listener has to share with us today.
Hi, Tiffany and Mo Ari. My name is Crystal, and I'm from Chicago. I would love to hear about your perspective on the honeymoon phase. How do you navigate your relationship once it's over? And does it actually end? Thank you so much.
That's a good question.
That's a great question. Ooh, I was deep in thought there.
Yeah, thank you so much for submitting questions. If you all ever want to share your questions with us, feel free to reach out to us. Be Your Own Love Goals on Instagram, and then we are lovegoalspodcast.com.
Mm-hmm.
And actually via our website, there's actually a link to Anchor by Spotify, or it'll just say Spotify. And you can leave an audio message just like the one you heard, and your voice can be on our podcast. So we love hearing your questions, and we love sharing love with you all. So please submit, and we look forward to hearing from you all. But we're just going to jump right in, and I'm going to let Tiffany take this away, talking about the honeymoon phase.
No pressure.
Is that a good thing? How long does it last? Just get right into it, Tiff.
So I think first it's really important for me to say what I even consider the honeymoon phase.
Okay.
So to me, it's that period of time in the beginning of a relationship, or even the beginning of talking, getting to know one another, where it's like fluffy and fun and like just a lot of curiosity, a lot of getting to know the person. And it feels really, really good.
Yeah.
It feels good. You might I would say sometimes you could have blinders on.
Yeah.
But I think I consider it the time where maybe your representative is there.
Yeah.
And over time you begin to maybe show more of that representative.
Yeah.
Or show more of the non-representative parts of you. So I think that the honeymoon phase is so relative from one relationship to another, how long that lasts and what that looks like. Now, that's my definition of the honeymoon phase. I feel like that can happen in friendship, romantic relationship, or whatever. And so when that ends, I think it's a signal that there's some sort of transition happening in the relationship, whether it's, a serious conversation that needs to be had, or, an action or a step that needs to be taken. So I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing when the honeymoon phase ends. And I also would challenge whether it's an ending, rather more of a transition or evolution to what that honeymoon phase looks like.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I think that the honeymoon phase happens for any relationship.
Yeah.
How long it lasts really is up to that relationship. It can be a few hours, but so many people don't have what you call a meet cute story, right?
Yeah.
So they met their partner under some kind of circumstance that made them have to get really close in a short amount of time.
Yes.
And they got to see parts of their partner that maybe they liked or they didn't like, or they met in a non-traditional setting. So they got to see more of their partner's personality. So like if you ended up meeting your partner at work, you probably have a more globalized perspective of this person's likes, dislikes, things you like about them, things you don't like. So the honeymoon phase can be kind of impacted by that. A lot of times I think the honeymoon phase is characterized as a time where you don't have the full picture. Some people will call it like the time where someone's representative is there. I think you kind of spoke to that.
Right.
And I don't know if I see it like that. Because when I think of honeymoon, I think of the time after your wedding.
True.
I think it's an intentional phrasing that the honeymoon came from this terminology of like the time after your wedding where you're just really in bliss. That's, if you think about the literal honeymoon, which would happen after a wedding, you know that person pretty well. That bliss is really coming from a place of like, I just really like you. So when we think about the honeymoon that happens in the beginning, well, prior to any marriage or any long-term commitment, I like to think it's not necessarily about a representative or somebody being false, more so that your bliss is really driving the relationship. I think about what's navigating, what's in the driver's seat. And so it's not necessarily that you don't have all the pieces. It's just that you're really leading with love. So when I hear Crystal's question, I hear, how can we lead with love as long as possible? And that's what I want to get to in this episode. So I don't think our definitions are different. It really does depend on it does vary from person to person.
It does. And I feel like another piece of this is that when I think about the honeymoon, the actual honeymoon, traditionally after a wedding, it's often like this intentional container of space. Like whether you travel to a tropical destination or you take some time to yourself as a couple, I think it's this intentional space that you create in your relationship. That is, like you're saying, led by love and very much like wanting to enjoy the bliss of it all. Right. And I think it's super important. You know, we had some really great advice some time ago about protecting our bubble. And it's reminding me of that period of time of like being very, very intentional about the space that you create and leading with love. I love that you said that because I don't think it's the representative part. I feel like, sure, that can be some aspect of the honeymoon phase, but it definitely is like, oh my God, this feels so good. This is bliss. Like, how do I hold on to this? How do I keep this going? Like you're saying, in our relationship, in our marriage, or whatever the dynamic that's present.
Right. Now, when you were talking, I was really thinking about our honeymoon and like just that time period. So I was just like, I like her so much. And I think just getting deeper into this idea of honeymoon, I'm thinking, or honeymoon phase. So beyond like marriage, but that early part of the relationship, so much of what is coming to mind is that like you genuinely like the person. You're not really worried about the red flags. You're not worried about their flaws. So I hear Crystal's question and I hear, how can we just stop focusing so much on the flaws? Now, red flags, let's not ignore. Red flags mean stop. Green flags mean go. But how can I just focus on be present to the love? And when I think about the stages of our relationship, I think about how we were such good friends in the beginning. And I was just so present to the relationship in a different way. I knew you were a human with flaws that would one day maybe, that would one day show up and reveal themselves to me and I would have to deal with them. But I didn't really care. And I wonder how we can, as I'm like kind of hearing into the question, like how can we just focus in on the love and stop caring so much about the flaws that are going to one day present and we're going to work through anyway. The honeymoon is that time of bliss. And so I'm wondering that the honeymoon cannot just be this literal time after marriage. It can be this time that can be long lasting in the relationship. I really want to say that first, the foundation has to be friendship.
Yes, absolutely.
You have to, like, how we treat our friends. Of course, if you have great friendships, some people are just like tragic with their friends.
Tragic.
But if you have like quality friendships, think about how you treat your friends, how you want them to relate to you, how you interact. Can the foundation of your romantic relationship be that? So that the honeymoon isn't a time of like ignorance, but it's a time of like bliss in the sense that, you're so present to the love and the connection and that you like this person that you're not focused and consumed by their flaws. We know our friends are flawed. But that doesn't stop us from wanting to hang out with them every Friday.
Right.
how can we be like that in our relationships?
Yeah. I feel like there has to be like a healthy level. Well, first of all, it seems like presence is key.
Yeah.
It seems like being like, if you really like this person, really like that person.
Yeah.
Like, really sit with how much you like them. If you love them, sit with how much you love them and be present in that. And I was going to say, I think there's a balance between being present to it and ignoring dangerous things that you might need to pay attention to.
Right.
So I think that I always will be an advocate for a healthy level of skepticism, but not to the degree that it causes you to not be present.
Yeah.
And I know that can be a bit of a challenge to get in the middle, like somewhere in the middle of that.
Yeah.
But I do feel like leading with love and really leaning in with whatever feeling you're having, as long as it feels safe. Like, I like this person. I'm going to like them. I'm going to call them.
Yeah.
I'm going to text them. I'm going to tell them I like them. I really enjoy the conversation that we're having. But also, if you recognize something that, gets your spidey senses tingling, don't ignore it. But also don't let that consume you.
Yeah.
So finding that balance, I think, is probably somewhere around the area of how you can, maintain this or cultivate this throughout the length of your relationship.
Yeah, I think that's a really helpful, practical analysis. You really think about relationships. You're getting into the practical, tangible advice of like, okay, here is how you can get how you can stay present and not just focus on people's flaws so that your honeymoon lasts. We need that. We need that honeymoon. So I'm not anti-honeymoon phase. We need the honeymoon as a cushion for the relationship, because you know what? We go through so much.
Baby.
We go through so much in relationships over the life course. And so even for us, after a decade of partnership, we've learned to co-create these things and so much more. But seriously, after a decade of partnership, we've gone through so many things that friendship as a foundation, that cushion, that bliss continuously serves us. And so I couldn't imagine if the beginning of our relationship was just extra rocky.
Yes.
I couldn't imagine that we'd be able to navigate a lot of these uncharted waters, a lot of the challenges that we face in a cohesive way if we had not had that cushion of a honeymoon phase from the very beginning.
Absolutely. And I feel like I hear people often suggesting that, okay, I gotta get out of this honeymoon phase. I gotta see what's on the other side of that. And I feel like,
no.
Yeah, like I want to stay in this honeymoon phase forever.
Okay, so they're like, that's the idea. I love that you're saying that.
Yeah.
They're treating the honeymoon phase like it's the Wizard of Oz, and they want to see the man behind the curtain. And that's what I'm saying. We were taught that the honeymoon phase brings a representative, and I'm saying let's like abolish that thinking altogether. That's not true.
Because it almost feels like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop.
And then you create a shoe drop.
Yes. And then there's really no, like, some part of you is not present. If you're like tensing up, waiting, like, okay, let me see when the fall from grace happens, you're not fully present in what the feeling is.
Yeah. Dr. Alexandra Solomon said this one time, and she's amazing. You should listen to her podcast.
Absolutely.
It is Reimagining Love. Amazing. Dr. Alexandra said, if you scan the universe for your deepest insecurities, like if that means like if you go through the world scanning the world to see when your deepest insecurity is going to happen, you're going to meet that time and time again. So if you're in a relationship saying, when is the other shoe going to drop? Can I see behind this curtain? You're going to find something. And then I took that advice that she gave a step further, and I said, you know what? In relationships, it is inevitable that your partner is going to hurt you. Why? Because we're humans and we are flawed. So it's no surprise when you go behind that curtain, the shoe will drop. But you know what? The biggest indicator that someone can work things out and is going to be good with you long term, you know what it is? It's not that they brought their non-representative. the biggest indicator of success is going to be whether or not they're willing to work it out, apologize when that shoe drops. If they're able to say, you know what, I'm flawed and I'm growing and I want to grow with you. If they are able to say that, F the disappointment. Disappointment is inevitable. It is going to happen. Stop scanning the world for that. Stop saying you want to get beyond the honeymoon phase. Allow that honeymoon phase to last as long as it's going to last. And when it ends, don't be hard on yourself. You can pick it back up because you already have experienced it. It's not like a finite thing. It's not like the honeymoon is over, so you're never going to honeymoon again. Go honeymoon as many times as you want.
Absolutely. And I feel like I love that you said that, because I feel like I keep going back and forth on whether the honeymoon phase even ends, right?
Yeah.
Because maybe a part of this honeymoon phase is the realization or the understanding that not if you mess up, when you mess up, or I won't even say mess up, when we come across challenges, when, there's a thing we need to work through.
That's a word.
How will we get through it?
Yes. How? Just be solution focused. Not because you're right. That the other way of thinking is very fear-based. And it's focused on what if, not what if, let's just plan. We're human. Let's be real about it. We're going to do some stuff. How are we going to get through it? That's the kind of mindset you can grow with. That's the kind of mindset you want in a partner. That's the kind of mindset we have to embody in order to be good partners for other people.
Exactly. And it creates a level of openness where when things do arise, it's a container or a space where you feel safe doing so. And we're all uptight and like, okay, if it happens. One, I think it breeds defensive-ness. It breeds perfectionism. It breeds so many things that just don't serve the highest good of the relationship. So I think what you're saying is like, when these things arise, how will we come at these challenges together? Like, these conversations are not always easy and fluffy and unicorn. Like, they're not. However, when you have that understanding, it can sustain that honeymoon phase. Even if you say you got to drop it off for 30 minutes while we have this conversation and pick it back up, like it's progress, like it's forward motion. And I think that is so important. It's something that I feel like we do often in our relationship. Like, okay, we've arrived at this challenge.
Right.
This feels like a little bit of a difficulty. How are we going to attack this? How are we going to attack this together? And these conversations are not always like fluffy and kid-like and all of these things, but we do get to the heart of what it is and how we're going to attack it.
Yeah, we do. And it takes a lot of work.
A lot.
I was just eating up everything you were saying. I was like, you put me deep in thought. Almost like
I see you over there thinking real hard.
I was hypnotized by what you were saying because it was so good. It's so powerful. Yeah. I think you're on. I know we're charged up.
Yeah.
We are absolutely in no judgment of anyone who has made these mistakes or gone about looking behind the curtain, wanting to see if the other shoe is going to drop, wanting the honeymoon phase to be over. No judgment. This is a judgment-free zone.
Judgment-free because I have done it.
That's what I'm saying. I have scanned the universe looking for my worst fears to be realized in a relationship, worried that the other shoe was going to drop, and I couldn't be present. And there were many moments of that, even here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what I've learned from that over the years is that the other shoe drops and it's not as bad as you think it's going to be, for one, unless you blow it out of proportion, which I can do because I got a Scorpio moon and rising, and I got to really back in.
Okay.
But if you don't blow it out of proportion and you actually sit with it, you go, oh, this is what I was worried about. And sometimes we just sometimes if we allow ourselves to really lean on the cushion that the honeymoon phase provides, the friendship that the relationship already has, if we really rely on that, we can really ride that wave for a long time, not with rose-colored glasses, just present to the joy and the love that we have in our relationship. What if the honeymoon never ends? That's what you said you've been going back and forth about. I just said it real slow and deep. So you were like, ooh, I feel that. You said that already.
Yeah.
But what?
I like how you said that, though.
You like how I said that?
I love that.
Talk to me after the podcast. So I could talk like this. What if the honeymoon never ends? Can we be in relationship where we intentionally create honeymoon long term?
I mean, I feel like that's my goal. That's the goal.
Yeah.
The feelings that, you often experience in the beginning of a relationship or marriage or whatever the relationship dynamic, if we can do that in a way that is healthy, that is highly communicative, that is, intentional and present for the duration of our relationship, sign me up. Wow. That's what I want.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
A word.
No questions asked.
Nothing else needs to be said.
Nothing else.
We can pause it right here.
Drop the mic. So I feel like traditionally honeymoons have served the purpose of being like another box to check almost. Right. Even historically, back in old days, like honeymoons were literally to go start a family, like go have all the sex so that you can have that honeymoon baby, which I have nothing against honeymoon babies. I think it's beautiful. But I feel like there was not a level of intention that was, or let me say this. I don't feel like those traditions were rooted in the bliss and the presence of the moment as much as they could be, or I would say as much as I would like.
Interesting.
And so, I think that I'm saying all that to say that I desire to have a sustained honeymoon. I want my relationship to equate honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
And so doing the things to work through the challenges that come up, have the sex, have the fun, like do all of the things that traditionally you would do in a honeymoon, and use that as a cushion to approach the difficulty and the challenges in relationship. So to Crystal's question, again, I go back and forth on whether it ends or not. My desire is that it continues on. Right. And I feel like there are a number of ways that you can sustain that feeling and that presence. Because I feel like for me, the honeymoon phase is a feeling. It's a vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have this question for you then. Because I think what came up when I was listening to you was thinking about how sex plays a role in the beginning of a relationship. And I won't, you can go there. So thinking about like how sex probably really adds to this cushion, this like honeymoon phase. But I was really thinking, what is it about sex during that time? I think it's the newness of it. And if there's this deep connection, then that really adds to feeling like a person in this very, very deep and intimate way. Don't let it be like dynamic and phenomenal. Then it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Girl. But I know for us, just really connecting with another person in this really intimate way, really quickly without feeling like they even knew you as a person. Somehow they know how to connect with you in this way. So it's very, very deep. And the newness of that, I think adds to some of the honeymoon feeling. I think that's significant when you think about the life of a relationship. If we can tap into these moments where things feel new again, because everything kind of goes in a cycle.
Yeah,
everything kind of goes in these seasons. And so you might go through some winters in your relationship. When it's spring again, really step into that newness. So the honeymoon doesn't really end in the sense like you keep meeting new honeymoons in your relationship.
I love
which is what I was hearing you saying. And there are these opportunities to really step into that energy or allow that energy to sustain you through the winters, through the other seasons of the relationship. Maybe there are some summers in your relationships where things are hot and spicy. That could be like a honeymoon.
So, you know, I love the moon. And while you were talking about the seasons, it reminded me also of the phases of the moon, how we have, you know, full moon and new moons. And we think about setting our intentions, releasing things that no longer serve us based on, you know, where the moon is. And so I think it's a continuous reevaluation of your relationship, and also honoring that the honeymoon phase 5 years ago might not look like the honeymoon phase now, but it can still feel like a honeymoon.
Yeah.
And I think we have to just welcome the evolution. And I'm speaking to myself as well. I am not the ultimate master at this. Like, it's an active thing. And so, yeah.
So if you had to practically put a time on it, so the moon cycle goes every 28 days, right?
Yeah.
But we know honeymoon phases maybe last longer. But if you wanted to say on average, from what you viewed for people, just so for Crystal and anybody that's listening, that's like, but tell me for real, how long can I expect the honeymoon to last? What are your thoughts on, like, if we were to put something on average or an average number on it?
I don't want to just say it depends. It does depend. But on average, I would say maybe like a month.
Ooh, that's short.
Or a little more.
What did I do to you in a month's time?
This is why I feel like it's so relative. So
a month in, what did I do to Tiffany?
It's not that. I feel like it's, well, actually, no. Let's say 3 months. Let's say about a season. You just get more settled in. Like, it's things that you might feel more comfortable doing that you hadn't. Like, I feel like it was at that point that I was like, okay, like, okay, like, I don't know.
She's not going to say it on here, but it was that she did not want to poop at my apartment.
I did.
So I'll say it.
I did not. I would wait till I got to the airport every time. Like,
because the airport bathroom
3 to 4 days of stomach
pooping at my apartment.
Yes, it took about 3 months.
But see, that's interesting. Keep going.
I don't think that signified the end of the honeymoon phase, but it was a point in our relationship that I felt like I just got more comfortable.
See, it's profound. Because
me not wanting to poop is profound.
Yes, it is profound. Because when I was thinking about honeymoon phase, I was thinking about this, like, fall from grace in this, like, collective way. Like, we're both kind of like, okay, we see each other. Yeah. But you're getting at something important, because sometimes we individually don't bring our full selves until a point. And a lot of times that's because we're worried that that's going to cause the end of the honeymoon phase. And I am saying, don't do that.
Yes,
I am cautioning us from doing that. If you are holding in your poops,
I mean, stomach ache for days.
How can you be your full self? So I guess that's beautiful. So yes, I agree with you. That didn't signify an end to a honeymoon, but what it did signify is the beginning of you showing up fully to really start the clock on that honeymoon phase. You can't really be present to your bliss and really enjoy it if you're so worried that they're going to reject you in some way, or you're going to cause the end of your good time.
Yeah.
You can only increase your good time by being your authentic self. If that causes them to, like, really just not like you because you're, like, pooping, or you're, like, wearing your bonnet to bed, or you leaving your toothbrush, or you don't wake up with a full face of makeup, or your gym shorts stink, whatever the thing is, if that causes them to not want to be with you,
Yeah.
then that was not on a good trajectory. That might have been infatuation, because infatuation and honeymoon are not the same.
Baby.
Infatuation and honeymoon are not the same thing.
One more time for the people in the back.
Infatuation and honeymoon are not the same thing. This is so important.
Yeah.
Infatuation is more like, I want to ravish you. I want to like devour your body, and I want to like be inside of you. Look at Tiffany, just like, what's on the menu? Just in it. Yes, like I really want to. It's just like this overwhelming, like, it's this overwhelming desire to be in with that person in a different way than the honeymoon. Honeymoon is just really enjoying the relationship. Like I keep saying, it's a cushion. It's the good vibes. It's not like that lust feeling. So when you say honeymoon, don't think of it as that. Really think about the good vibes that might be present on someone's honeymoon after their wedding. That's what we mean by honeymoon phase. If you're saying like, oh my God, I just can't stop thinking about you, that's the beginnings. Of course, the beginnings of love can chemically feel like that. So I'm not saying that that's wrong. I'm saying, though, that might be different than what we're talking about, which is the baseline for the relationship, which is honeymoon. Let's say friendship is the baseline. So honeymoon is more about that. When you get into like, I cannot be without you, I can't breathe without you, like that is infatuation. That is like obsession bordering on. However, I want to acknowledge that love chemically feels like that in the beginning, because you're starting the beginning of like this very addictive feeling, which is love.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would also just like to offer that, you know, our podcast is Be Your Own Love Goals, right? And so it is really important to understand what honeymoon looks like for you in your relationship. What does that mean? What is the feeling? What's the vibe? Because beyond a trip to the Maldives after your wedding, a honeymoon to me is a feeling. It is a vibe. It's an energy. And what that looks like for you and I might not be what it looks like for the next person. And so really honoring what you want that to be, co-creating that with who you're in relationship with.
Chapter, verse, scripture. That is a word. Honeymoon, what it looks like for you and I could be different from person to person.
Yes.
What's honeymoon look like for you too?
Honeymoon it's that feeling where I just want to be like, where I just really like you. Like, not only do I want to have sex with you, but I want to like sit down and watch a movie with you, have a conversation, like eat ice cream and just laugh till our stomach hurts. Like it's just the desire to be with you, like near you, even if we sitting down, not talking, but we're just together. Like that's what honeymoon feels like for me. And that is a feeling I never want to go away. Even in the arguments, in the difficulty, when I might be like in my feelings, it's something so disarming or grounding. If you reach over to me, if I'm upset and hot-headed and you reach over to me and, you know, hold my hand, like, how can I just keep being mad? Now, I can hold grudges. So
that's like Cancer sun.
But it's a vibe. Honeymoon is a vibe. It's an energy. It's that feeling of, it's that bliss feeling, but not ignorant to what is happening, but just, I don't know. It's like the thing you just lean back on. It feels like the fabric of the relationship almost.
And I hear you getting at like, honeymoon is something you choose. You opt into honeymoon.
Yes.
You choose honeymoon every day. Ooh. All the things that you listed are vibes. You said you just really want to laugh till your stomach hurts with a person. Or honeymoon is when you really want to have sex with them, be close to them, be by them because you really like them. You can choose that every single day. So for anybody listening, don't walk away from this episode hearing that honeymoon is something you wait to happen, to start or to end. Then you wait for the cycle to come back around. That's not what we're saying. Honeymoon is something that you get to choose every single day.
Absolutely.
No matter the season of your relationship that you're in, the season of your life that you're in, honeymoon is an option to you every day. You access it by starting with a list like Tiffany gave of things that really give you that good feel. Remember those moments in your relationship that bring about that kind of energy, and you just think on those things. You go back to that vibe. You go back to that energy. You go back to that foundation for the relationship, which is friendship. And you access that memory, that feeling anytime you need it. You choose honeymoon in your relationship every day.
We can take that to the bank. You choose every day. And sometimes you got to choose multiple times throughout the day.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. But that's another episode.
Multiple times throughout the day.
But yeah, it's a choice.
It's a choice.
It's a choice. And your choice might look different from the next person's choice. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Be your own love goals.
Be your own #Love Goals podcast with Mo Ari
and Tiffany.
This has been a great episode. We look forward to seeing you all soon. Have a great day. Be well.
Bye. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Video episodes are on YouTube and Spotify.
If you want your question included in an upcoming episode, feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at Be Your Own Love Goals, or check out our website at lovegoalspodcast.com. We look forward to hearing from you soon.
Bye.